Live from New York. It's a show that is being silenced. And I'm sorry. Because I think we have right now an A show planned for you. But A+ was on the board. And it was stripped out of the rundown. Even though I wrote in the rundown, this will be good. What's the story you're referring to? Great question.
What is? Tell everybody.
People are going to love it.
I see.
Mike Vrabel gave the Patriots the option. Hey, do we want to practice inside?
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs and Drake May, Robert Spillane said no.
And
we want to go outside.
That's the end of the story.
Yes.
I am begging. Begging my friends in local radio.
That's a good story.
At WEEI.
That's a good story.
Please offer this guy a weekly guest spot. He said this morning to all of us, everyone's going crazy about it. About the Patriots practicing outdoors.
I guess I'll be the one to settle it, right?
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it.
I told
what a
you.
bunch of hard hats.
It's old school.
That's
why
right.
you don't like
Let's
it.
get in the mud.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love it. Oh, my goodness.
You're old, but you're not old school. Today,
I do. I like it. Put a bunch of studs up there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man.
You think they're duds. A.J. Brown hopped on a Madden streak.
Now this I can do without. I mean, my goodness.
We
He's
discussed.
finding every social media available.
He's really going through
My
into the
goodness.
cycle. Meanwhile,
Has he posted on LinkedIn yet?
Bucks, Bill. Ooh, baby.
He's going to put his resume out there.
Lions,
Looking for
Eagles,
work.
Seahawks, Rams. Who is in a must-win and why? And finally, a very special edition of NFL Tiers. This one will just be excellent.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one.
It is.
And also this time of year, we can really narrow the tiers.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if you guys noticed in your prep, it's almost exclusively 2-team tiers.
Yes.
Just they're in pairs.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I did.
You
It's a
did?
tower of tiers. I don't know why you. Brew, of course, noticed.
I
Tears
didn't.
Tower.
Oh.
The Tears Tower.
Yeah, well done, Brew.
Oh, like the Sears Tower.
Like the tears.
Yeah, okay. We are starting today
Like way late.
with the Chiefs favored in Denver. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, great off a bye. Now, it's an important game for Kansas City, but it is a huge game for the Broncos. Sports Illustrated, Nick, drafting off of one of your takes, and you're in the lead.
Yeah.
Why Chiefs play another team's Super Bowl this week while the Denver Broncos play their biggest game in a decade on Sunday. Now, Kansas City lost their last regular season Super Bowl.
That is true.
So are they in trouble now in Denver?
By the way, I would argue this is not the Broncos' biggest game in a decade. Maybe it's the biggest game in Denver in a decade. They played in a playoff game 9 months ago against Josh Allen.
I think they mean regular season game.
If they mean regular season, then it's definitely their biggest game. And if it's the game in Denver, it might be the biggest game because they haven't played a home playoff game in so long. So that's fair. Listen, are the Chiefs in trouble in Denver? No. In modern NFL history, no one, not even Brady over Buffalo, no one has owned a singular opponent the way Patrick has owned the Broncos.
Yeah.
We can show you the record, and he's 13-1. So the most recent on that list is Steve Young. Other than Patrick. So it's all last century. Otto Graham's a monster.
He had like 7 rings.
No, he's a monster. Terry Bradshaw was making the GOAT case for Otto Graham recently. And Patrick started his career as a rookie with a win over Denver. He had one of his first national highlights, his first year starting, the left-handed pass on Monday Night Football against Denver. Now, to be fair, while his record is the best of any opponent, his stats are not. And that dates back to when Vic Fangio was the DC there, and the Chiefs would always win, but it'd give Patrick a little bit of trouble. The off a bye, of course, helps, but what I think helps even more is all that nonsense Sean Payton talked last year. about how we really liked our matchup in round 2, which would have been Kansas City. And the fact that the Chiefs, this is also one of the biggest regular season games Patrick's ever played in. Because they don't typically play in really meaningful. This is why I said he's never lost a meaningful regular season game, because they haven't played many, and
particularly this late.
Right, this late in the year. Right, early in the year, you don't know where you're going to be, and so I think you have a motivated, mostly healthy, locked-in Chiefs team, and a Denver team that no matter what they try to spin, cannot possibly feel good about the performance the last time they were out there. And so, yeah, I think I don't think the Chiefs are in trouble.
Well, first, let me address the Super Bowl for the Broncos. I agree with Nick. I don't think it's their Super Bowl. I get what you're saying about the Bills, because the Bills, this is when they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like in the regular season, they keep losing to them in the postseason. Denver's new to being a good team, right? Over the last decade, like they're just starting to get good. So, yeah, they, of course, want to beat Kansas City. It would be a huge win, especially for Bo Nix and some of those other young guys. But I just don't think this group and this quarterback and coach have been beaten up enough by Kansas City, like Buffalo, where it's like it's their Super Bowl. I would put it that way. Look, the Chiefs, I don't think they're in trouble. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I think this is going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Chiefs, I would pick the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a dog fight. Denver's 5-0 at home. Chiefs are 1-3 on the road. Denver is, I think two keys to this game. Josh Simmons, we were talking about him, the left tackle for the Chiefs. Will he play? I know the stuff I was reading is that they're not sure.
They're not sure.
He did practice today, right. If he doesn't play, then that will be big time problems for the Chiefs, because, I mean, this is the best pass rush, not only this season, but thus far, the best in history. Denver's pass rush on pace for a record in sacks, 78. So if Josh Simmons isn't playing, we saw how much pressure Mahomes was under against Buffalo.
Yep.
This is a better pass rush. So, and he struggled, obviously. So if they can get consistent pass rush against him, Simmons isn't there, then that could be problems for him. I think on the flip side, a lot of people might not be seeing this, but J.K. Dobbins, who I'm thinking is not going to play. There's been talk about him going on the IR.
Yep.
The Chiefs' defense is good all around, but if there's the weakest part, I guess, is the run defense. It's not weak, but it's the weakest part. And that's the best part of Denver's offense. We know their offense is pedestrian to be kind. But the best part is their run game. Not that Dobbins is Derrick Henry, but he's averaging 5 yards a carry. He's been their bell cow. They're going to need R.J. Harvey, the rookie, to step up and be really good. Because they're not going – I don't see Bo Nix going crazy on that defense. It's going to have to be a run the ball control, keep it out of Mahomes' hands, and hope your defense can stop him enough where you can get a win. But remember, Nick, last year when Denver wasn't as good and the Chiefs were at least record-wise better.
It was an ugly game.
Yeah, 16-14, and obviously the last-second field goal that the Chiefs
that's how all the Chiefs games were last year. Were the ugly, not all, but
Denver came the closest to beating, I would say. I mean, they had
of
anybody.
The Chiefs this year have obviously just been such a different team in that they've lost all of their close games, and their record in one-score games is funny because all their wins have been by double digits, and so they have no wins in close games. I disagree that the Chiefs' biggest defensive weakness is run defense. I know it is statistically. Right. I think their biggest weakness is pass rush, and I think that in the last 2 years, you have to have either an elite quarterback or a quarterback that I believe is elite to beat the Chiefs. 4 quarterbacks have beaten the Chiefs in 2 years. Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and the Prince.
You don't believe he's elite anymore. Used to.
But so I think so I know the run defense numbers aren't good. When I watch the Chiefs play, I'm I'm never worried.
Last week, Buffalo rushed for 140-something yards.
Yeah, I understand. You are totally correct in that. What I'm saying, I guess, is what feels to me like the back-breaking plays against the Chiefs defense are 3rd and 9s. They can't. The quarterback has forever, and they pick up the first down. Mm-hmm. And because they can't get home without sending, a huge blitz. I just am not worried about Bo Nix, flatly. And I know that can be risky, and we'll see. We'll see if I have to eat my words.
He has not been impressive. You can certainly argue he's as good as Trevor.
Oh, that's too.
I mean,
here's the thing. Maybe you can argue that, and I think Broncos fans would argue he's better. Trevor in that game against Kansas City, that was his best game of the year. You know what I mean? Trevor in that game. I don't think Bo Nix is going to play as well as Trevor did.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to light him up.
No, but if he's got time, he can eat you up.
Yeah.
If he's got time. Okay, moving on to A.J. Brown. If you bet the Eagles were going to go 48 hours without any drama after scoring only 10 points in a win, you were wrong. A.J. Brown joined a Madden stream, and guess what? He's not happy with his role in the offense and has some advice for fantasy football players. Take a listen.
Let's go. Trimmer.
Where have you been?
No, just check it out. You my dog. Like, I still got, you know what I'm saying? I got to check up, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like family good, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else, no.
Man, everything gonna click, bro. Chat, look. Everything gonna click, bro. Trust me.
Show.
Whenever y'all play us, I promise you, you might get 200. And I ain't even trolling.
Hey. If you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me.
Brew, how did this land at your feet?
Not well. It's just crazy. Let me go to the first and most important thing. I do think the Eagles will be able to withstand and overcome this. I think they're at the point, I said it last week, they're just ignoring it. Especially, for sure, as long as they keep winning. Now, if they start losing again, it could become a problem. But right now, I think their attitude is this: he's the boy that cried wolf. We just not even worried about it. We just going to go on, yeah. If they're asked about it, I would just be like, yeah, that's AJ, but he's our guy. We love him. I don't think they're going to let this ruin them. All right, that's number one. For AJ, I got to be honest. I think he's wrong. But I do understand, we've talked about it before, I get a wide receiver, particularly a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver, or close, wanting to put up numbers and wanting to get his individual shine, especially when he already has a ring. Now, all players, particularly star players like that, guys that have that ability, they want to shine individually. But there are times when you have to put that in, you have to have that be submissive to the team's success. And so what I would say to AJ is this year, you got to make it submissive to the team's success. And then after this season, if I'm the Eagles, I'm looking to trade him. Now, I'm not giving him away. I want to get a good return, and I want to get a receiver who's close to his caliber because they're rolling. Even if they win the Super Bowl, chances are they're not going to win 3 straight. Nobody's ever done it. So that would be a year where you could trade him and get, something for him. But I get, like I said, I think they're moving past it and not going to let it stop them. But this over time will become aggravating. As you were bringing up, you might bring up Joe Buck with Troy Aikman on the broadcast. It seems that maybe something's there with Jalen.
And again, I'll trust your knowledge of, I don't know if the boy who cried wolf is a biblical parable, but it's a parable. No. But this isn't quite the boy who cried wolf because he is seeing a lot of wolves. What he's complaining about is not fake. He is complaining that now using me and not using me was an instance where that was fake. This is outrageous how he is being used, and it's outrageous what he's doing. I find both things ridiculous. I find it totally ridiculous that the Philadelphia Eagles cannot figure out how to use A.J. Brown, and unlike last year, you can't say, well, everything's humming the way we're doing it. They had 0 points at halftime. They had 0 points at halftime. He had 2 targets for 13 yards. They came out at halftime and targeted him less. He didn't have another target to play they shouldn't have run.
Saquon isn't.
And Saquon's not killing. Right. So now they did sign up for this. And I'm very interested in, we now know the Bills wanted to trade, were willing to trade a first-round pick and something for Jalen Waddle. Now, they're very different receivers, but I think A.J. Brown is clearly better than Jalen Waddle. Yeah. And so, I think it's reasonable to say Philadelphia could have gotten a first-round pick for A.J. Brown had they made him available. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to make him available, how do you not come out of the bye after the deadline with a real plan in place to use him? Unless it is, well, he's going to be the greatest decoy ever, and we're going to put up 40 without using him. That's not what happened. Mm-mm. So and this isn't to be combative at all, because I think AJ's being immature. He's using every social media available to whine. So, he's being immature.
Do you think he did this purposely, knowing it would get out? Or my guess is he didn't.
No, I mean, I think he's a very sharp guy. I think he knew it would. I don't think he went on there premeditated. But I think he knew it would show up like it was a public stream. This wasn't him complaining to friends in a parking lot and someone's recording him. You know what I mean? And so I do think that.
The question was also, how are you doing?
Yeah, he just said, how are you doing?
It wasn't like
that. It could have been like, I'm good, bro.
Yeah,
about to whip you in this game.
And so this is the question I have for you. How much of this is on Jalen to fix it?
It's a great question. I don't know.
To fix it?
To fix it.
Well, the other sort of bubbling rumor is that we had another chapter of Jalen and A.J. Brown freestyling at the end of the game.
I don't buy.
It was addressed on Philly radio, and then Sirianni almost did a doth protest too much. It's I knew that really.
I don't know even KW. This is similar to your Patriots practice story. I'm not sure the audience is in the same Twitter algorithm as you. I'm not sure they know what you're talking about. So explain.
Okay, sorry. Was it last year or 2 years ago when it was during the Supernatural Funk? Or
at some point, AJ and Jalen called their own
play at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it missed, and it was a head-scratching decision that everyone blamed Sirianni. Sirianni took the bullet, so to speak, but then it later came out that Jalen and AJ freestyled it. Then, supposedly to the reports, the final play when it's 4th and 6, certainly they were out on the field, so I think you got to just take whatever's there. But supposedly that wasn't the first read.
No, I don't know. Just so you know, I guess if we're going to do this, we'll do it.
Well, I don't know. It's all very loose.
No, what I would call conspiracy theory is they were never supposed to snap it. That it was supposed to just be draw them off sides, take the delay of game,
and then punt.
And then punt, and they went rogue on it. I find that impossible to believe, and I would also argue this. If A.J. Brown knows we are going rogue on this play, he fights a little harder for that jump ball. So I don't buy that, but I do think it is fair to ask, because so much of what makes Jalen great is the intangible leadership stuff. And so much for me of what makes Sirianni frustrating is I know what his record is. You give him credit, but it seems like Jalen fills in some blanks that he doesn't have in that department. Is it Jalen Hurts' responsibility to find a way to get his arms around this thing?
Probably.
I think that's fair. And to find a way to get him the ball, or either he has two ways to fix it if you're Jalen. Find a way to just get him the ball regularly. You're the quarterback. You're making the throws. Or find a way to convince A.J. Brown, we can't have this stuff.
Or sometimes you can't. Look, Brady lost control like Antonio Brown. Sometimes you just can't. I don't care how good of a leader you are.
Yeah.
That was
when
a
the
whole
Supernatural Funk,
wax.
they had Jason Kelsey in the locker room and Jalen Hurts, and they still couldn't control it. I think, obviously, if I'm in Jalen Hurts' shoes, I am definitely trying to get him the football. One, because he's just such a great player, but two, because you want to make this thing right. But I'm not doing it at the expense of the team. Like, if he's not open or if Devine, they got another great receiver on the other side, and I know he's not getting a ton of targets either, but I just think the best option is to just continue to. Now, the offensive coordinators and Sirianni and Hurts should sit down and try to say, because you're right, they should be getting him the ball more. There's no question about it.
Right now, not getting him the ball is hurting them. They had 10 points.
I know, but
this one game, I mean, they're not a juggernaut
or Jalen
offense,
Hurts has this all under control. But that's just the wild card option. That it's a lot of smoke and no fire.
But
that's what it was.
I guess what
year.
I would argue is the fire was Monday night. The Eagles' offense on Monday was horrible. Full stop. And so, that's the piece of this that I think is an important. Unless we are arguing that somehow not throwing to Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown makes the defense better, which I don't think anyone's arguing. That's the problem. The problem is the offense is not functioning properly, and he's upset.
But they're winning.
Yeah, they are. No, they are.
And I don't feel like it's like 2 years ago when they were winning, but it always seemed like something was wrong.
Felt very positive afterwards.
This is just A.J. mouthing off. And I get it. They only scored 10 points. But sometimes you just have a game. They're playing the Packers, too. Yeah. Good defense.
Okay. Host the Lions on Sunday. Headed to New York. The Giants have a new coach and new quarterback. Jameis Winston will start against the Packers. Green Bay still favored by a touchdown in New York. Sunday at 1 on Fox. Should the Packers be worried about the one-time dark horse MVP of yours?
Well, look, the Packers, first of all, aren't in position to take anybody lightly.
Yeah.
All right, they are in desperate need of a W. They've lost their last two, and they've lost to the Browns and the Panthers. So that's at that time, I guess it was Joe Flacco and Bryce Harper. So they need
Bryce Young. Bryce Harper probably, honestly, I'd give Bryce Harper a try.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So they need look. Jameis, last year he started 7 games for the Browns. 1 game he threw 4 touchdowns. 1 game he threw 3 touchdowns. 2 games he threw 2 touchdowns. He beat Baltimore. Like I think it was Denver last year. He had a game he threw for 400 and almost 500 yards, had 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. All right, so he could go out there. You don't know what in the world he has in store. He might throw 4 touchdowns and he might throw 4 interceptions too. So they have to be ready for him. I can't wait to see it because he's always fun to watch because you have no idea what's going to happen. I think the Packers win this game for sure. But, you got to be concerned because he can light it up.
KW.
I'd be terrified if I were the Packers. Not only new coach, Jameis, who likes to sling it around, but what does Kafka have to lose here? Okay, were we kind of mediocre? I don't think this is going to be my job. It doesn't feel like I read that Mike McCarthy is right now sort of the leading candidate according to odds makers.
Well, shoot, if the guy they're coaching against, sounds like could be the leading candidate.
If he becomes
available.
Let's have some fireworks and throw the ball around and have some fun. It's just I think it's a very unpredictable, non-Eagles-like game that we just saw against Green Bay.
Yeah, I think the Giants, I said a month ago that the Giants were a must bet against post Broncos loss until they fired Dable. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't even because I thought Dable it wasn't who was the head coach of the Titans that they fired just this year? Callahan.
Oh.
It wasn't a Brian Callahan situation where it's the game management's so awful that it was that. I just thought that loss sapped the energy of the team, and now they kind of can turn the page a bit. I also think that the Giants, as presently constituted, and this is maybe why Joe Shane should be on the hot seat, particularly without Scadaboo, without Neighbors, without Jackson Dart, are just bereft of talent and walk into this game one of the least imposing offenses in the entire NFL against that Packers defense. the Packers have trouble with the Giants, much less lose to the Giants, then I am ready to say it is a 5-alarm fire in Green Bay. Because you cannot have a really bad loss to Carolina, followed by a non-existent offense against Philly, followed by losing as a touchdown favorite to a team. This is their third-string quarterback. Right. I know we know his name, and I know we like Jameis. He is the third-string quarterback for a team that is without its starting running back and wide receiver one, who just fired the coach. If the Packers are legitimate Super Bowl contenders, which I know everybody believes they at least could be, and some people believe they absolutely are, this needs to be a start-to-finish dominant victory.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's what it should.
Look,
I mean,
I think they need to beat them handily and by 2 scores. I don't know if they route them for the whole 60 minutes. But that defense, you mentioned the offense is depleted. The defense, you still got Brian Burns to lead the league in sacks with Myles Garrett. And I showed the stats yesterday, Jordan Love has struggled against pressure. Yeah. So if they get pressure on him, like I said, you're right. If they lose, I mean, I'm not going to change my pick, but it'll be like they're in deep trouble.
As 6-point favorites in their last 11 games.
They've lost
4-6-1.
Yeah.
Coming up,
that
must
was
win.
Coach's upset alert.
This is going to be my upset alert.
Oh, must win.
Oh, because you don't believe in the Bills.
Check out the podcast. We are on a track to be #1 in the world, and our YouTube channel also streams. So just click on the live button, and it is streaming. It's excellent. And also, right before we start Must Win holiday season just around the corner, we got some stocking stuffers. Must Win 25 supports 4 players locally, rated M for mature, is available on all consoles. But right now, we're starting.
Is this real or is this just something you drummed up?
It's just a
stocking, not real.
Stocking stuffer.
Bucks
lost.
I need to buy it.
He's going rogue. Like, just do it.
We got to do the show, guys.
I play it every day.
Both looking for bounce back games, but one of these QBs is going to lose 2 in a row, unless it's a tie. This season, Baker and Josh both 6-3. Here are their numbers. Check them out at your leisure. Nick, you dominated last week, and you've been talking a lot of trash.
He sure has.
Coach Mangini is here. He hasn't won Must Win in weeks. A lot of people saying it's punishment for his upset alert victories.
It might be.
Do our pass or play?
My answer to this one is so good that I would feel badly going first.
Wow.
So I'll go last. So Brew, I'll pass to
All
you.
right, well, let me just put it out there right now. It is not the double must win.
Great.
Because one team is a contender and the other is just cute.
I don't even know
So
which
when you
one's
got a
which.
contender, the Bills,
Okay.
and one that's cute, the Bucks, it can't be a double must win. All right?
Okay.
So it is a must win for Buffalo. Coming off their worst loss of the season, they just lost all the feel-good momentum from winning their Super Bowl and beating the Chiefs. All right? Their coach is you're starting to see stuff about him being on the hot seat. Despite beating the Chiefs, they've lost 3 of their last 5. Right now, they are already the 6th seed in the AFC. If they lose this game, they will probably fall out of the playoffs altogether for the time being, and then not have a chance to win the division. Really hurts their chance to win an AFC East. So this is an absolute must-win for the Bills.
Solid start.
That's pretty good. No, this is an absolute must-win for Killer Instincts. It's 100% a must-win for Killer Instincts. And what does that mean? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what it means. It's vague enough. It's vague enough to sound important, and it sounds tough. So that must be good as well. And they're both coming off disappointing losses, and whoever wins must have a killer instinct. So it's a must-win for Killer Instinct.
Wow.
I mean, Coach has just turned on Baker. He's such a vicious
I'm just saying.
That was pretty
Hey, I have a killer instinct.
You've just assumed he was talking
I just
about the
need the
coaches.
killer
You don't know that. Listen, it is true. The one thing that Bruce said that was accurate was if they lose this game, the division's out of reach. Your favorite, the New York Times playoff predictor, puts them at 7% to win the division if they lose this game. So a 1 in 14 chance. So that's done. But this is a must-win for Brandon Beane And shout out to Dominique Foxworth and Mina Kimes for reminding me of this, because this is also potential vindication for Jerry and Joe on WGR in Buffalo, because over the summer, they were like, hey, you don't address receiver. And Brandon Beane called him up and was like, you dopes don't know what you're talking about. Take a listen, everybody.
Listen to the last few minutes of your show before I came on, waiting on here.
All right.
Sounds like 2018 all over with you guys.
Well, we're very. How so?
Well, you guys were in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. Like, we just hold on, let me talk. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. You just saw us lead the league in points when you add all the postseason. No one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, but guess what, Brandon Beane? You're talking about the past. They were talking about this coming season. You know what happened to this trade deadline? Calling Miami, begging them to trade you Jalen Waddle, offering a first and more, because turns out Jerry and Joe looked at your wide receiver depth chart and they were right. And you actually agree with them. So they need to have some type of explosive passing game, because Brandon Beane has told us that he was wrong over the summer. He should have addressed it more, which is why he tried to trade for Jalen Waddle.
Who surfaced that clip? Because I forgot about that.
Dominique Foxworth and Mina Kimes. They're going to get the point.
Coach up 1-0.
What, Coach? Coach, all Coach did was make fun of Baker.
Out here.
You ran a filibuster for 45 minutes.
He threw to something that Mina and Dominique did.
No, they didn't throw to the sound. They just referenced it. I pulled the sound. I pulled the sound.
How do you do that?
You talked it up too much.
WGR550.com.
Big
Click the
lead up.
straight archive streaming player. Click record and cool edit.
You talked it up to me. He promised a 55-point game and gave us 38.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad.
You gave us 12.
I wasn't sitting here saying it was, I'm about to go for 60, baby, and a triple-double.
Lions in Philadelphia. It's a Sunday night game. And I know we've been living through the Chiefs era, but look at the record of the Eagles and Lions. 33-10, 32-11, 31-12. That one took me by surprise. So, Brood, you went first because Nick passed, so now Coach has control of the board. Coach, you could almost put this away.
Well, I know there's a double, triple bonus point or something at the end, so that's not the case. This is easily a must-win for Detroit. And when you make a decision like they made last week to swap out the OC, and I know they didn't fire him, but they take away play calling, head coach takes away play calling, and you go and hang a bunch of points on a depleted Washington team, that's fine. But now you're playing an Eagles team that's gotten better, like structurally gotten better, and gotten reinforcements. So you better make this decision look really good against this defense. Otherwise, you don't have a lot of cards left to play, and it's a little dramatic to make this change mid-season. It's not like they had been horrible. So I thought he went all in kind of early on making this move.
KW.
Yeah.
As a little kid, did you read those Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Love them all.
All right. Would you like the analytical answer, the goofy answer, or a combination?
Goofy.
I'm going to take the goofy answer.
I like
Goofy answer?
Yes.
Is a must-win for any fantasy football players going against A.J. Brown's team. He told your opponent he's got to bench him. That's probably spent a first-round pick, early second-round pick on A.J. Brown. He's going to be on the bench. You lose to that team. How are you going to make your fantasy football playoffs? That's the goofy answer.
I like it.
You want the analytical answer too, or no? Okay, no problem.
Save that one. Leave some meat on the bone for Brew. I like
Well, this was the once rare,
This guy.
but now increasingly common double must win.
Oh, this is.
It used to be rare, but now it's become really commonplace.
It's
For
like
Detroit,
50-point games in the NBA.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
kind of,
right.
yeah, kind of, sort of. But Detroit, they need a signature win. All right, Green Bay, everybody, they beat Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's a weight class below them.
They're cute.
Yeah, exactly. Detroit's supposed to be a legit contender. They go play Green Bay, they get housed. They play Kansas City, they get housed. They beat Baltimore, but we all know that was a different Baltimore team. The defense, that was pre-T7. So the defense wasn't there. So they need a big win, and this would be one of the best wins of the season, defending Super Bowl champions.
Great.
And Coach is right in that They gave the nuclear option. He didn't use the right language. Dan Campbell went nuclear. Okay. All right, that I'm calling the plays. Now, if you lose, you got nowhere to go. Now what? All right, so there. And then for Philadelphia, the way they keep A.J. Brown from becoming a big story is to keep winning. If he keeps winning, you can keep treating him like the boy that cried wolf. Mm-hmm. If you start losing, now that becomes louder and louder and louder, and you do see some wolves. Thank you.
Who gets it? All right.
Wait, just out of curiosity,
That
what
was-
part of that
He said, you see some wolves.
Yeah,
A lot of it's the land.
Wow, that was,
All right. Now, this is the bonus round. It's actually still anyone's ball game.
yeah.
Well, it
course.
always is. 'Cause of
Well,
the
you never
bonus.
know. If someone scores two, it can only tie. This is a battle in the NFC West. Both Seahawks and Rams are top everyone's power rankings. If you pick up the USA Today, top of the standings. We've had a lot of talk about Sam Darnold, Matthew Stafford, but look at these defenses. I didn't realize how good the Rams defense was because we've been giving so many flowers to the Seahawks defense. Nick, you said you had a haymaker.
whoa,
Who's this a must-win for?
whoa.
He's talking up to.
Here's the deal. If either of these guys comes on and says this is a must-win for either of these two teams, they're lying. They are
rarest.
going to get to play each other again. It's a divisional game. They're both having great seasons. We're going to see a rematch. By the way, a rematch in a prime window as opposed to, buried at a 4:05 window, not even with the America's Game of the Week. And so the only person this actually is a must-win for is Matthew Stafford.
Wow.
And as increasingly more people are talking about, his Hall of Fame chances. Because in order for him to win MVP, they almost assuredly do have to win the division. And so they've got to win this home game against their divisional rival. Here is the list of quarterbacks in NFL history with an MVP and a Super Bowl. Every single one of those guys who's eligible for the Hall of Fame is in the Hall of Fame, except for Joe Theismann, and he won his Super Bowl during a strike season. So everyone who won a Super Bowl in a full year and won an MVP is in the Hall of Fame or is going to be in short order. Matt Stafford can join that list. Can't win the MVP as a wild card. Can't win the division without winning this game. So for his MVP chances, it's a must-win for Matt Stafford.
I mean, that is impressive. Secure your MVP vote and candidacy mid-season.
Well, it's not secure it. It's don't squander it.
Wow,
Don't blow it.
This is a big game.
Yeah.
Wilds, you're a hip-hop historian.
Hall of Fame.
You remember the rapper Cannabis?
Of course.
Cannabis?
Yes, yes.
Great lyricist.
Feud with LL
Cool J. Great wordsmith. You know what, though? Didn't make great songs.
No.
That was just Nick. A lot of good facts. There. But he didn't make it sing.
Wasn't a hit. He's a great lyricist.
Right. This is the hit. This is a must-win over the voters. Because Sam Darnold, if he goes out there and balls and lights up the LA Rams, guess where he's at? Firmly in the MVP race. And you talk about a career turnaround. And then Matthew Stafford takes off on the MVP race, leading it even bigger than he is already if he lights up Seattle. And it does enhance his Hall of Fame chances if he wins the MVP.
So what is it?
It's a must-win over the voters.
Still
Must win over the voters.
must win over the voters. Got it.
Yes.
It took me a while.
Like a Rakim lyric.
Yeah,
you got to listen over
I got
and
to listen
over.
several times.
Yeah, everybody says the best slogans take a long time to understand.
Must win over
All right,
the voters.
Coach, you can steal this somehow.
Yeah, look, I didn't realize that there's going to be so much Hall of Fame talk in the middle of the season. That's incredible. I'm actually focused on the game, the significance of the game, and so it's must-win for the Rams because Seattle's coming in with a 10-game road win streak, which is the 5th longest win streak in the history of the NFL, road win streak. And so if the Rams can't prove that they can beat Seattle at their home stadium, even if they win the division, who cares? Seattle comes in, they can go on the road throughout the course of the playoffs and beat everybody because that's all they've been doing for the last season and a half.
Believe it or not, he called it. Nick walks away with the victory.
Back to back. Back to back. 4 for the year.
He'll be going for the three-peat.
4 for the year.
Next Wednesday.
Oh, my.
Tune in as he goes for a three-peat.
Can we get some kind of, can we get a live vote?
Wow.
Can we get a live internet vote?
What a performance.
I'm shocked.
Coming up
with that.
next.
Put a vote
How in the
together.
world?
For your stocking
Whoa,
stuff.
what happened to my
I want
camera,
the
guys?
Crazy out here.
We need the
Zooming out
people
on
to
me.
vote.
Everybody's jealous.
This is a fix.
Wow.
I
Shedeur
want
gonna
the people
start.
to vote.
Hey there, it's Dr. Sanjay Gupta with some exciting news to share. CNN is now streaming. That means you can read, watch, and stream everything in one subscription. You can watch news live 24/7. You can also explore catch-up videos and explainer videos, and you can also watch a library of CNN's originals, including my latest documentary, It Doesn't Have to Hurt. Just go to cnn.com/all-access.
Browns hosting the Ravens. Dylan Gabriel versus Lamar. Maybe Brew. He missed practice today with a knee. Brew was freaking out.
But I'm sure, listen, the Ravens and Lamar are always on the exact same page on his
Dun,
injuries,
dun, dun. 8 games left for the Browns. Are we ever going to see Shedeur? Here's Kevin Stefanski.
I don't think it's fair to speculate, Daryl. We're committed to getting better as an offense. Dylan is certainly committing to improving every which way he can, and all the while, all of our players, young players, are developing and working so hard behind the scenes to make sure that they're getting better on a daily basis.
A little combo platter here, Brew. Are you starting to think we won't see Shedeur in your immediate reaction to Lamar missing practice, something or nothing?
Well, look, the Ravens are saying he'll be back tomorrow, and it's nothing big. So I'm going to take them at their word. You've made comments that, and rightly so, they haven't been on the same page all these years all the time. But I assume he'll play. If he doesn't play, then this game they could lose this game because the Browns play you tough. I mean, their defense is great. And so, and the season obviously would be in serious jeopardy if he's out. So that's that. But I'm assuming he's going to be fine and be able to play. For Shedeur, I do think we'll see him because the owner has said in September he absolutely wants to see both of these guys. And right now, I feel like it's lining up how I said. Look, Dylan was the 3rd round pick, Shedeur's 5th round. Dylan's had 5 starts so far. They have 8 games left, I believe. And so I see Dylan probably getting the next 2 starts, and then Shedeur will get, 5 or 6 starts himself. So I don't think they want to give the 5th string pick more games than the 3rd string. So Dylan hasn't done enough to where it's we don't even need to see Shedeur. So I do think we'll see him in a few weeks.
Go ahead, Coach.
We don't ever talk. Does Cam Ward play football? We never talk about Cam Ward. Anthony Richardson, he might as well be in the witness protection program. He's totally disappeared from the face of the earth. But this guy who's a 5th round draft pick, we talk about all the time. And when you look at the Browns draft classes here this season, it's going to go down as one of their best draft classes ever. So their 1st round draft pick, he leads the league in pressures, all rookies in pressures. And then you go right down the line. Schlesinger, their linebacker, is up for Rookie of the Year. The running back that they drafted, he leads all rookies in rushing yards.
Bannon's been
the tight end, he has the most catches through 10 games of any Browns receiver in history. And they get a 1st round draft pick next year from Jacksonville. But we're talking about the 5th round draft pick that everybody thinks that there's some great conspiracy against to not play him. And when you hear the head coach talk, he talks about game plans, and he talks about understanding the game plan and seeing the development not only on the field, but in terms of being able to run the offense. Maybe that hasn't come along the way they hoped it would be, and maybe it's not. Maybe they don't hate the kid. Maybe they just don't feel like he's ready. Their rookies have played more snaps than any other rookie class, except for the Patriots. Well, the Patriots are the next closest, but they're still 700-800 snaps less than the Browns.
So you think we won't see him? You feel like we won't see him? Or?
No, I absolutely 100% think we're going to see him because the owner wants to see him. So we're going to see him. But the idea that people are going against their own best interest to somehow prosecute or
No, I don't think it's that.
Shedeur, it's ridiculous.
I agree that's ridiculous. What I don't think is ridiculous is people going with their own interests, which is I went out on a limb and overdrafted Dylan Gabriel, and I want to show that I was right. When all of the evidence is a guy who was projected to be right around a 6th round pick that I took in the 3rd round probably should have been. Because thus, coach, hold on.
I'm just saying, because you projected him to go there?
No,
the whole NFL drafted him. Everybody had a chance to pick him. They took him in the 5th.
Coach, I'm talking about Dylan Gabriel right now, who the Browns, only one team took Dylan Gabriel. They took him in the 3rd. What I am saying is, you're right that clearly the consensus boards or whatever were wrong on Shedeur. But the consensus boards are usually pretty within reason on stuff, right? Like there was, Abdul Carter was a consensus top 5 pick, he goes in the top 5. The Schlesinger guy you're talking about was consensus pick like 40, he goes right in, in that range. And so it is fair to say Dylan Gabriel was valued more by the Browns than the rest of the league, and up, meaning more by Stefanski or Andrew Berry or one or the two or both. And up to this point, if we show you his numbers, he has been the league's worst quarterback. And when you have...
Is he worse than Cam Ward?
Yes. Overall, yes, Coach. He is. He is. He is. Cam Ward.
Like significantly?
Again, hold on. Gosh darn it. If we want to, maybe we should do should Cam Ward have been the number 1 pick conversation. I am talking about the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. You correctly laid out, the rookies are crushing for the Browns, except for this guy. And so, I don't think it is a grand conspiracy against Shedeur Sanders. I didn't even like Shedeur coming out of the draft. What I am saying is, Dylan Gabriel is running out of rope. You can't,
And what I'm saying is, with Cam Ward, okay, he's going through a bunch of growing pains. And that happens with rookie quarterbacks. It's the hardest position to play. So why would we expect it not to be a difficult position for Dylan Gabriel to play?
I agree. It shouldn't be that shocking.
I'm just saying, why is he running out of rope just because he was drafted in the 3rd round? And is he only running out of rope because you have the other guy there? If the other guy was playing really well, then you think, yeah, of course he's running out of rope, and they want to push him in.
What I am saying is, if the baseline quarterback production the Browns are currently getting is last in the league, then maybe Stefanski is slightly overvaluing the stuff the processing, understanding the offense. It's getting you nothing. Whatever the things Dylan Gabriel must be excellent at that Stefanski really likes currently is getting you nothing. And yes, Coach, the pick 1-1 has way more rope than pick, I don't even remember what number he was, than pick 87 or whatever he was. We all know that. And so
you get 6 games.
You know who has very little rope? Pick 5th round, whatever number
that's fine.
He gets this much rope.
That's fine. But at some point, you're going to have to see. If you're getting the worst quarterback play in the league, at some point you're going to.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. This Monday night, witness the end of an era. John Cena takes center stage for his final appearance ever on Monday Night Raw. One last match, one unforgettable farewell. Come celebrate the legacy of a true WWE legend. Monday Night Raw, November 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, only on Netflix. Be there for the moment everyone will be talking about.
Live from New York, it's a show that called The Bosses because they lost Must Win.
I know.
Wait a second. He was the bosses. The bosses called me because they were so upset at how biased and ridiculous the scoring system is for multiple weeks.
And by the way, you guys are wondering whether or not Coach was actually upset. Watch how he treated me the segment after.
Oh, yeah.
My God. Fire and brimstone.
Very hurtful.
Second hour of First Things First today. Joel Klatt is here to break down the latest college football rankings, and I try to make my case that Indiana is better than Ohio State. Meanwhile, Travis Hunter out. Are we done with the two-way experiment when he returns to the football field? Brew, you were skeptical all along. But right now, let me get you caught up to speed in what was happening. Last night, a committee of analysts, students of the game, and fans of the guy that Danny put his tweet on the show yesterday met inside. And the leader of the committee said, hey, you know, we have an upcoming game on Thursday. Do we want to go outside? And the committee says, you know what? We do. This is the grit that we need. We need to callous our calculations in the cold. Oh my goodness. Let's put on some overcoats. It walk around like old-timey England and we're studying astronomy or something. Everybody had overcoats on.
Is this what happens when the
the
teleprompter
teleprompter.
He's the prompter didn't go down.
This is his freestyle.
I never even got it.
Wordsmith.
I just wanted the Vrabel story in, and nobody wanted to get it in.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a privilege. It's what? Now what?
For 5 years, there's been one consistency to tears. What did the committee do?
Sweat and toil.
What did the committee do?
I'm not even going to say it.
You have to say it.
I know.
KW. You have to say
Fall
it.
and toiled and burn the midnight oil.
Thank you.
Deliver the best segment in all of sports.
We can never have the prompter go out again.
I said hold cue cards up from over here.
Prompter did not go down. I didn't write it. I screwed up.
KW, thank you for the great, if not a little lengthy introduction. But I'm glad for the second time this show we got in the Pats practiced outside. Listen,
it's a big story,
It's
Coach.
hot on WEEI. I get it.
I do like it. I like
It's only November. It's not even December.
I mean, it's unbelievable. KW's like, they're going crazy about it.
It was an Arctic
Eliminated! 2 new eliminations. The Commanders and the Browns. Despite, I mean, again, Coach, Cam Ward's on the Titans. He hasn't been good. I hope you're happy now.
Let's mention.
That's
a growing
quarter of the league has been eliminated. 3 more teams facing elimination this week. You have the Atlanta Falcons against the Carolina Panthers, the Arizona Cardinals against the Niners, and the Dallas Cowboys. And a pretty sad Monday Night Football game against the Raiders. Those 3 teams facing elimination. The next tier, don't reveal it yet, it could have been called the Sam Darnold vindication tier. Instead, it's called probably need a quarterback. And it's the Vikings and the Panthers. 2 teams that had Sam Darnold. And again, it is way too early for J.J. McCarthy. I know it's year 2, but he's barely played any football. So you want to give him time?
Not Dylan Gabriel.
Well, he's played half.
They can trade for Shedeur.
He's played considerably less than Dylan Gabriel, and he's also not 5'7". But regardless, I'd be very sweet. I'd be nervous if I were Minnesota, and I wouldn't even be nervous if I were Carolina. I would just know that it's probably time. 07 Pats, if combined. The Bengals offense and the Texans defense, oh my. And that's with Joe Burrow or Joe Flacco. Don't really care. You're getting the same production. The Texans, got a great keep your season alive win this week. Down 19 going into the 4th quarter. Storm all the way back with a backup quarterback to stabilize themselves. And the Bengals got kind of the opposite the last 2 weeks, where now that they know Burrow is coming back, they have to be feeling like, my God, if we could have just held on, not lost to the Jets or not lost in the final minute to the Bears, we'd be right there. The offense is great, defense not so much. This one makes me sad. Half of it does. Awaiting the collapse. Guys, the Prince might need a fresh start. He just might. And the Steelers, we talked all year about how they had to get off to an awesome start, Brew, because the final 5-6 games of their season were so tough. They got off to a good start, but they squandered it as of late. And now it feels, right now, both of these teams, this is a division champ and a playoff team, right as we sit here today. But of all the teams currently in the playoffs that we think aren't going to make the playoffs in either conference, those are probably the two most likely. It makes me sad. Battle for the 7th seed. This is literal. I don't think the Packers are going to full-on fall out. So you have Philly, you have Tampa, you have Seattle, you have the Rams, you have Detroit, you have Green Bay. That's 6 teams. One of these 2 teams, unless the Panthers get red hot or the Vikings, I don't think it's going to happen, are going to be the 7th seed. They have a matchup against each other later in the season. You are going to see either Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, somebody in the playoffs, and the Niners maybe all of a sudden being dangerous if they're getting more healthy, or you're going to see in the first year of Ben Johnson, Caleb in the playoffs. But one of those 2 teams is going to be the 7th seed. This is a page right out of Brew's book. Cute teams. Listen, these are cute, good teams. They are, and they both have potent offenses when things are humming. The Colts have an all-time running game at the moment. Questions about the defense that Ahmad Gardner has not fixed. I feel like maybe he's lost the Sauce nickname until he starts playing like Sauce again. I'm just telling you. I mean, I don't know. I saw him get
got burnt.
I saw him get burned. I saw him drop a pick. Listen, there's nothing wrong with calling him Ahmad. And I understand the Chargers have an offensive line no one can win behind except for when they do win, and then they're a real contender. I'm a little confused on the Chargers stuff, and Daniel Popper's tweet and his little sassy response didn't help me on that. But they're good. They're cute teams, and they should both be in the playoffs. Obviously, the Colts are going to win the division, and the Chargers should hold on for at least the 7th seed in the AFC. Brew, I don't know if you're going to like this one either. Uncomfortable quarterback questions. The Broncos and the Packers. Love the teams. Love the defenses. People historically have loved the coaches. They don't have great, but they don't have terrible weapons. One team, the Broncos, has a great offensive line. The Packers' offensive line's now banged up, but it hasn't been a problem. So why aren't the offenses more consistent? It raises some uncomfortable quarterback questions about a guy who the head coach compared to Drew Brees and a guy who the team gave $50 million to. Speaking of categories Brew might not like. Brew's biases cuts in both directions. The Bucs and the Ravens. The Ravens at 4-5. Oh my! Just one of the most dominating, devastating teams in the league. A true contender, despite the fact that, once they get to the playoffs, they've never played their best. The Bucs, on the other hand, who have a quarterback who always plays awesome in the playoffs and have won the division for as many more years in a row than Baltimore has and has 6 wins, they're a cute little team. They're not even eligible for must win because their games somehow don't matter. Scary but vulnerable. Bills-Lions. The Bills are vulnerable because they just haven't been the Bills this year. Aside from beating the Chiefs in the regular season, there has not been a lot about the Bills this season that remind you of the best Bills teams we've seen, and they are the ultimate SBOB team. The Lions are vulnerable only in that I found the Dan Campbell taking over play calling thing curious. I don't think it's not nothing. And I don't think anyone prior to that was like, man, this Lions offense just broken. I think that people thought they had a bad game against Minnesota, so it seems like internally maybe they were more concerned than we were externally. It's a little just scary but vulnerable. I can't believe I'm doing this. Just show it.
That's where we are.
What does it say, KW?
I can't read that far.
Doorstep of destiny.
Excellent. Excellent.
We are staring down the pike at a Pats-Chiefs AFC Championship game in New England.
That would be devastating.
I'm just telling you, that is what we're staring down.
That we would be in a no lose.
Well, you say that, but once you get there, You're not going to feel that way.
You won't feel that way. I've never felt that way when the Ravens lost.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in year 2 of Drake May.
Yeah, but you're in.
It's
year 1
it
of
still
Rainbow.
hurts.
You're in year 6 of the dynasty gap year,
I wonder what it's like to lose an AFC championship.
Wow, coach. Polar opposite vibes. Rams and Eagles. Both 7-2.
Yep.
Both should be flying high. The Rams, everything's wonderful. The Eagles, I think AJ Brown just went on MySpace and posted an emo song with Jalen Hurts' picture. And so, both awesome teams with polar opposite vibes. And atop the tiers, for the first time in franchise history, not even the Steve Largent teams were atop the tiers. A quiet juggernaut.
Wow.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
Right now,
Number 1.
the best team in football.
Wow.
Coach.
Great tiers.
Thank you.
It looks good, too.
Yeah, like a tower.
Yeah. Coach.
Tears Tower.
I think you should spend a little less time on must-win on Tuesday nights and a little more time on the tiers, because I'm having a really challenging time dealing with where you have Denver again. So 2 weeks ago when I was here, Denver was the 11th, had the 11th spot on this, and now you've just moved them up to 10. So what's happened in those last
Well,
few
they
weeks?
actually might still be 11th because it's not left to right.
Not left to right, Coach.
Well, what's happened?
They played one of the
since then?
worst games in the
Okay,
NFL
so
history.
they won 2 more games. So let's see. Maybe they've gotten worse defensively. Where are they defensively? Oh no, they third, first. So they're still dominant defensively. So we've got that going for us. How about, have they won a lot of games in a row? I don't know. Oh yeah, they have. So it's 7 in a row. And I know New England's won 7 in a row too. But for some reason, Denver's 7 wins don't equate to the same.
Because the games are on TV and we watch them.
Yeah, and I know. And Bo Nix, there is a problem. But here's the special sauce for Bo Nix. He's comfortable being uncomfortable. He has to be trailing in order to be successful. And the problem is when your defense is so good, you very rarely trail. But that's the
They
special
trail
sauce.
all the time, Coach. He has 14 touchdowns with trailing.
He's so good. That's because he's so good in that environment. And you're just not giving, you need to give him a little bit more love. So when I'm here next and we do the next set of tiers.
Where do you want him?
I don't know. Bump them up to where Kansas City is. What Kansas City? They're 5-4.
Yeah. I mean, KW.
They can't be on the doorstep of destiny.
Well, we're going to figure this out here pretty soon.
Yeah,
so
that is a great upset alert for you, Coach. A great upset alert.
Kansas City's going to be favored in that game?
They are favored by
crazy.
3.5.
Oh,
All right, listen.
Be an easy pick.
If it were the defensive tiers, the Broncos would be way higher.
It's on our podcast.
Huh?
Defensive tiers, special podcast episode you can shoot after the show.
Oh, okay, thanks.
What if you went winning streak tiers? That could be another.
Winning streak tiers,
Okay, that'd be
defensive
good, too.
tiers.
Wow, you'd be all
Fugazi quarterback stat
Trailing
tiers.
from behind
They'd be
tiers.
all that. But as far as overall teams, I got to be honest. I think the committee had the Broncos a little high. I think the Broncos are worse than the Chargers and the Colts, personally.
That's not the only thing that was high.
Oh, my God.
My goodness, Coach, how dare you cross the line? The grandfather.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a grandfather.
Go ahead, bro.
You don't do that anymore. All right, look, I applaud you for doing something different at the top of the tiers. It's a team that's never been up there. It's not the Chiefs, but Coach, there's a part of me that feels like if it's not the Chiefs at the top, he doesn't really care. I mean, just whoever.
Yeah, mail it in.
Right, exactly. Who's got a decent round? I'll throw them up there. Because Seattle, I'm sorry, is not the best team in the league. They should not be atop the tiers. Here's several reasons why. One, their 2 best wins of the season. Pittsburgh, 41-year-old quarterback, and a defense that is suspect. And Jacksonville with the former Prince at quarterback. All right, so those are not 2 impressive wins.
Are we going to start?
This is a team also. Yeah, there you go. The artist formerly known as
The
Prince.
quarterback formerly known as Prince.
Seattle lost to San Francisco.
Who's really good.
Well, they're pretty good. and Tampa Bay.
Who's really good?
They're cute. At home. Coach,
they're a
what
juggernaut
what
road
of
team.
protecting your home field? They've had the 12th man. That's all we've heard. Oh, the 12th man in Seattle.
gone.
And they let San Francisco walk in there and Tampa Bay and take wins. Other thing, their last 2 wins, Seattle, are against, guess what? Backup quarterback. No, backup quarterback. Tomato cans too. Jacoby Brissett. And who was it?
But Drew, they were up 28-0 in the second quarter of both of those games.
No, I'm just saying that you do what you do to them, but they're still backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive. Yeah. They also have played the 18th toughest schedule.
So just
Coach,
league average.
In the league.
They played a league average.
That's not actually. It's not league average.
Drew, what would
league average would be 16. All right, 18th, and they have the 5th toughest schedule remaining. So we about to find out.
Who should be a top
And finally, here I'll leave that to Wilds. Here is the final thing, and I guess you've moved off of him, but I didn't know that Sam Darnold had totally gotten off pumpkin watch. Is that, is he completely off pumpkin watch?
I think he might be off pumpkin watch.
Okay. Because it's really about, no.
It has to be unanimous.
Pumpkin watch adjacent, though. Okay. Because it's about the big game.
I agree with you.
So you got them the number 1 team in the league,
brought that up
even though the
in the
QB's
meeting,
on pumpkin watch?
but the committee believes in him more than me. But I think Seattle's overall resume is what it is. And they're undefeated on the road. They have an awesome defense. They have an awesome offense. They have an awesome head coach. The quarterback's putting up great numbers, and Jackson Smith and Jigba's flirting with Calvin Johnson's record. They're great. They're a great team.
Okay, quick story from my team. Driving down the road one day, rock hits the window. What?
You're driving or your wife's driving?
I'm driving. Okay. My wife also likes to drive. Driving down the road one day, rock hits the window, little crack in the window.
Yeah, did you call safe light?
But not,
they have good
here's the
commercials.
thing.
I hate that.
But not enough to stress you out. Then next thing I know, so I don't do anything. We gotta get
it
expensive.
Goes down again. All of a sudden, it looks like we got into a car accident. It's all like spider webby. So this is going to be a disaster. We're going to go. There's going to be glass flying in our face, glass in my mouth. I smile. I look like Daniel Jones. I have blood everywhere. This is going to be an outright disaster. But then I called the company.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, what kind of car is this and that? Yeah, we'll be over in 90 minutes. Done. It wasn't a problem at all. That's the Eagles. Feels like a problem. Actually, not a problem at all. Just everyone is using their imagination. Looks like a problem. Actually, not a problem. Here's who they have beaten.
Yes.
Dak. W. Oh, the mighty Patrick Mahomes. W. Oh, what about everybody's All-American in the MVP? W. Big
Why
show.
is Carson Wentz on there?
It's just a list. It's just a list.
Hey, one-time MVP.
He
was about to win an MVP at one point.
It was a revenge game.
You could have just done
Revenge game, Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's big.
quarterbacks.
That's a revenge game.
Revenge game.
Jackson Dart.
You should have just had the top row and Jordan.
And Jordan Love.
And J-Lo.
So, someone's got to beat us. And granted, they've lost 2 games. A lot of smoke, and I said this earlier. A lot of smoke, no fire. Oh, they're not like last year's team. Are you sure? Might not look like it, but we also might be over-romanticizing last year's squad. Both 7-2, points 1 and a little bit and change points. Defense went from 18 to 3 points.
It went from beating teams by 8 points a game to less than 3.
Meh.
That's something.
Exactly. It's something.
Yeah.
But it's not a 5-alarm fire.
No, they're on the second row.
It's something. Well, they're the reigning Super Bowl champs.
That gets you, honestly, very little at this point of the season. Like we get further into this season, I think this is reasonable. I think you will agree.
You get further away from your.
Yeah, it's just what you were last year has decreasing relevance. Like in week 1, It has massive relevance what you were last season. In week 16, it has almost none.
But someone's got to take the belt. So the Seahawks didn't take the belt.
No.
Certainly the Rams didn't. They played the Rams.
They're on the same level as them.
They played and they lost. Finally, Jalen Hurts. And now this one.
Who have the Eagles lost to?
You can't play a perfect season.
Right.
You lose to Jackson Dart, what are you going to do? They got hot.
It's a crack in the windshield. It's just a little crack.
That's all.
First 9 games, 20 total TDs or 3 or fewer turnovers. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, this is great quarterbacks, more or less.
Yeah.
You get it. Jalen Hurts is putting emphasis on not turning the ball over. Hey, it's the sexiest thing in the world.
You right now think, hold on, here's the only thing, and I'm not trying to argue with you, buddy, even though this is competitive sports debate.
Not competitive sports debate. It's just
I don't think you, right now, if you went to one of those dinner parties you like so much, when you get to put on a tuxedo and sip martinis, you love wearing a tux. You did it on the show. You talked about how great you look in a tux.
What are you talking about?
And somebody was like, hey, I've been following the NFL so much this year. Catch me up. Who's the best team in the league?
Still the Eagles.
I don't think you'd say Philly. I don't think you'd say Philly.
What would I say?
I think
Rams?
you'd probably say New England.
Well, I just didn't want to do
this.
this. I would say the champs are still the champs, but watch out for the old champs. Championship DNA, as we like to say. Coming up next, Joel Klatt.
All right.
Talk about the catch of the year and how the college
And
football
Coach
playoff.
might stick around so we can ask him about how good Cam Ward was in college.
Trying to figure it out.
Mendoza in trouble. It's out. Touchdown! Wow! Omar Cooper! Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
So good. Joel Klatt, weekly appearance. Awesome game.
Oh, my God.
Great call from Gus. Here's my take on Indiana, Joel. Tell me if I'm wrong. It feels like they are either blasting teams, or when I saw that catch and the way that game ended, it felt a little, and I know this is not like super intellectual analysis, a little bit of like Team of Destiny. The way Cignetti talks, that specific play, honestly, Gus's call, I'm like, hold on, is this team actually the best in the country?
Well, from a resume perspective, you can make that argument. Think of the 3 road victories that they've had this year: Oregon, Iowa, and now Penn State. I know Penn State's record is not going to impress anybody, and particularly anybody from the SEC, but that was a good football team that played their best defensive game of the season on Saturday. You know, I could certainly see that about Indiana. I think that what I find so fascinating is that they just have this gear, and more specifically, Mendoza has this gear that he goes to when they need it most. I've always thought this, guys, great players at any level in any sport are great, not because of what you do like on a day in and day out basis, although that has something to do with it. It's that when greatness is required, you're at your best and you can deliver. And we've seen him now time and time again. He throws a pick 6 against Oregon, and he goes right back down the field, and he orchestrates a touchdown-winning drive. He's tied at Iowa against a very good defense, 13-13, a minute 40 left, throws a touchdown pass. Here, he's down, needs a score, sacked on first down of the series, 87 yards away, no timeouts, a minute 30, at his best. Seam throw, sideline, back of the end zone. It's like, wow. So, you know, when greatness is required, he delivers, and I think that's a mark of a great player, and certainly a team that is going to be difficult to beat, because like you said, they've shown the ability to blow people out, but now they've shown the ability to play with some real resilience and win a tough game.
Well, great points on Mendoza. So right now, who do you think is the better bet to win the Heisman, Mendoza or Julian Sayin over at Ohio State?
You know, I've always thought that you need the numbers and you need to have a great season, obviously, from a cumulative standpoint, but you also need the moments and stages. And right now, Mendoza has had the moments and stages because of those comebacks that I was talking about and those drives that I was talking about, and specifically on the road. The hard part about that is like Ohio State has been so good that they haven't even been threatened. You know, so in some ways you're penalizing Julian Sayin just because he plays on a team that is so much better. I will say this, there was one time this year that a team got close. They're within a possession starting the second half, and that's Penn State, 17-14. And all Julian Sayin did in that second half was play near flawlessly and just race away with the victory. If I had to cast a vote today, I think the better player is probably Sayan, but only because I've seen Mendoza struggle in pockets of games more so than Sayan has. But man, that's a really tough distinction, in particular with the clutch moments that we've seen from Mendoza during the course of the year. Those two, at least for right now, are my far and away top two in the Heisman Trophy, and we could see them play against each other the day before the Heisman votes are supposed to be cast. So it's like, hey man, we might be able to just put this on the field and say winner walks home with the trophy.
All right. Before we move on, I want to ask you a little inside broadcasting thing. Can you take us Can you take us into the booth when Gus is making that call? Because you and I have, I remember when you and I first got to know each other, we talked about Gus and his spotter and those moments, and this was an all-time Gus moment. Can you take us into that?
So, yes, I can tell you right now, when he goes to 10, all I think about is like, shut up and don't ruin it. It's like, I am not going to help anything in that moment. So like, I understand my role in my job at that moment, which is don't say anything until at a minimum there is a replay up. But listen, I love this sport as much as anybody. And I draw enjoyment and joy from experiencing the sport at a high level with a call like that. So I got to be honest, Nick, I turn into a fan. And the hair on the back of my neck raises up when I'm hearing him make these calls. And from our vantage point, you have to understand now, from our vantage point at the 50, looking down and left from the broadcast booth, when he jumps up and like makes the catch, I'm like, he's not in. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's not a catch. Right. And the official throws his hands up and I'm like, come on. Like, let's get a replay. Now, Gus has to do what he's got to do, and I'm certainly excited. But that's why the first thing that I even said in the entire sequence, we get to a replay and I just said, is his foot in? Because I thought there was no chance that his foot was down. Based on my angle, it looks like he hit his head on the crossbar. And so I'm watching with you, America, as we're watching the slow-mo, the foot coming down, and then his right foot hovers as if he's doing like some sort of like one of those like dances, and then boom, left foot hits down, and I'm like, ha! Yeah. Oh.
I was in my office with my 12-year-old daughter playing Fortnite with her on one screen with the football game, with sound on the football game on the other. But she's watching Fortnite. I'm watching the game. And she says to me, is he okay? Because she didn't know. She just heard. She thought something terrible had happened. It was unbelievable.
You don't know. You don't know at that point.
Time for our weekly Arch Manning check-in.
Man.
Does Texas, first of all, you give them a real shot to upset Georgia? And if they don't, are their playoff hopes realistically extinguished?
Good two-part question. I'd like to think that they're playing better and they're talented enough to go in there and make some noise at Georgia. But here's the problem. There is no evidence that they have put together a game at any point this year that is even close to the game that will be required in order to win against Georgia. So it would just be total faith, belief in something unseen to feel like Texas is going to go in there and do that. The teams that have played well against Georgia have gotten extraordinary quarterback performances. Think about what Joey Aguilar did in that Tennessee game earlier in the year, or what Ty Simpson did in particular in the first half. We haven't seen that from Texas at any point. And so, to think that they're all of a sudden going to turn into a version of their team that we have not seen at all at any point this year is probably a little far-fetched. Now, if they do lose this game, I do still think that the committee is paving a path for them to get into this playoff even as a 9-3 because of the A&M game at the end of the year. That A&M team would be in the top 3 at that point. And depending on what happens around them, does OU fall off? They're going to get in over any secondary ACC team. Yep. In my estimation, they would be getting in over a Utah that would be 10-2. So, like, if you actually look at the rankings and you see where teams are going to fall and who could be 10-2, I think that there is a path, maybe not 100%, but there is a path for Texas to be a 9-3 and still be included in the playoff.
So Joe, we see the rankings right there. They just came out. What is your biggest takeaway from the rankings?
Well, a couple of things. One is I think that this committee uses eye test more than resume, because A&M and Indiana, you could argue, have a better resume than Ohio State, but we all kind of know and see and watch that defense for Ohio State. And so I think that this is a committee that leans more into eye test than it does resume. I think you see that with Texas Tech as well. And their conference would suggest they probably wouldn't be up there ahead. Because we watch their defense. We know they can rush the passer. They've got a linebacker that could be the Butkus Award winner. And so they're sitting at 6 with a possible chance for a bye in the top 4 seed. That's my biggest takeaway. Then that point I already made about Texas, that I think that they're paving a path for Texas to potentially get in as a 9-3. And then I look at those 2 Big Ten teams and everything that they have left on their schedule, USC and Michigan. And they're sitting there in the teens, and yet Michigan still has Ohio State left on their schedule. That's the number 1 team in the country. USC is hosting Iowa and still has to go to Oregon. So they've got enough ammunition to pass the teams ahead of them and potentially become, what could be considered like a 4th Big Ten team into the college football playoff rankings. So I will say this. I generally, during the course of history with the college football playoff, have been vehemently in disagreement with the rankings that they've given. You guys have probably heard that or seen that, or I've said that on this show. This version is the unquestioned best version of a committee and their rankings that I've experienced in the playoff era.
Wow.
Shout out to the committee. Michigan, Northwestern at Wrigley. Do the Wolverines need a statement win here?
No, you just need to win, and in particular with how young they are. Did you know Michigan's the youngest team in the Big Ten? So they're sitting here at 7-2. They got a freshman quarterback. They got a redshirt freshman tailback. They've got a true freshman at wide receiver, 3 redshirt freshmen on their offensive line. They got 6 freshmen starting on offense. A lot of guys in the secondary and the back end, in particular with some of their linebacker injuries. And so at this point, you can talk about statement this and that. For this team, the most important thing is going and winning the football game, which will be difficult against Northwestern because Northwestern is fundamentally a very tough team to play against. They run the ball well. They got a veteran offensive line. Their defense is more stout than people believe. So I think this is going to be a fabulous game, maybe low scoring. And I'm excited to get to Wrigley and call it. Calling the game from Wrigley Field is going to be quite unique.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Have a great game. Remember, start your Saturday strong.
Yeah. Michigan. That's it. Some would say in a tuxedo.
Oh,
you can start it with a tuxedo.
You know what? I'm going to be at home. I'll put on my best tux.
Wiles looks great in a tux. It was a compliment.
Everyone looks great in a tux.
I heard it as a compliment
Thank
as well.
Thank you,
Joel. He can be offended all he wants, but I thought it was a compliment.
Live from Wrigley. Thank you, Joel.
See you, Joel.
Yeah, you bet.
Welcome back to First Things First. Travis Hunter out for the year. One of the most anticipated storylines in recent NFL history, just kind of fizzled out. Here's how his numbers looked in 7 games this season. Took 52% of the snaps, had 1 touchdown, took 28% of the snaps on defense, 15 tackles, didn't get a pick. Brew, you were a little skeptical about the two-way experiment. Do you think Jacksonville should bail on it for next year?
I do. And I'm not saying this injury is related to it. It probably isn't. But I don't think Travis Hunter's the best athlete to ever play in the NFL. And a guy that might be Deion Sanders didn't go both ways full time. If you want to, I think they should make Travis full time one way. And if you want to have him play on the other side of the ball here and there, special situations like they did with Deion, okay. But remember, I said if he goes both ways, I think he'll end up being mediocre or good at both positions, but not great at anything. I think his best chance of becoming a great player, period, is to play one side of the ball. I'm not sure which one. I saw him make some really nice catches, but he also only averaged 10 yards per reception. So I feel he's probably a better defensive back, but it doesn't matter to me which one they go. I would think cornerback, but he should play one way to me and maybe spot duty elsewhere.
Isn't it amazing that combined he played 76%, playing both ways, and he played less than 100?
Yeah.
I mean, That's amazing. And stop me if you've heard this one before, but he should play on defense full time on defense. And then what you can do is you can play him on offense and have a specific Travis Hunter package that's very, very manageable for him from a comprehension standpoint, from an effectiveness standpoint. And you can add to that package each week, but he's going to be really good at that. And you incorporate that package in the most crucial times in the game. 3rd down, red zone, 2-minute. And that way he can maximize his presence on defense, and it's a lot harder to spot someone in defensively because you're at the mercy of the offense. But you totally control what you do offensively, and you can totally control when you want to play him and really make sure that he is in there in the moments that are going to impact the game the greatest.
So I'm really worried now. I think the injury does matter, obviously. And I also think the Jags boxed themselves in a bit. So they did 3 things that boxed themselves in. One was the trade and giving up that much capital, not for a quarterback.
Right.
Related to that is taking the player at number 2 overall and Josh, I meant to look this up for the show, I forgot. Tell me in my ear. In the modern NFL, I don't believe a corner has ever gone top 2. Ever. Oh. Corners just don't.
Maybe 1 at 3.
Yeah, 3. I think 3 is the highest a corner's been taken in the contemporary draft. And then what they said afterwards, which is they basically were like, he's a revolutionary player, essentially. And I think that is why, Coach, and this is the point I was kind of trying to make over the summer that I maybe made clumsily, just by where guys get drafted and how much guys get paid, there is more value on having the best receiver in the league than having the best corner in the league, just based on what the guys get paid and where guys are drafted. But I thought in college he was a better corner than receiver. Mm-hmm. I think his skill set is more that, and to your point, it's more manageable. But the only way to justify trading the 5th overall pick and next year's number 1, and I think a 3rd, is either to get a quarterback, which they didn't, or to get multiple players, which they were saying they did. So now I think they're going to come back next year, and they desperately want him. And they did this when they thought Brian Thomas Jr. was superstar.
Right.
Now Brian Thomas Jr.'s star is dimmed a little bit. They need him to be a stud receiver. If he's a stud number 1 receiver, and then they use him in pieces in the secondary, you can justify the move. And I do think his skill set, and to your point, what's easier to actually practically do is more likely the other way around. And I think he might be in a rough spot here.
And I do think you can get the value of a star receiver. If he goes in and he's really effective in the red zone and scores a lot of touchdowns, it's like a guy who gets a lot of sacks. Everybody's going to say, okay, this guy's extremely valuable. And then the same thing with 3rd down. He goes in and has a high 3rd down conversion rate. Suddenly he's continuing drives, he's continuing possessions. Those things there are extremely valuable. And I know you'd love to have them down in and down out, but just getting those 2 things would be huge.
Coming up next, should Rob Gronkowski suit up one more time and play against the Jets? Robert Kraft's idea, not mine.
He probably could.
Live from New York, the show that wants to bring back the Nintendo Wii. We should bring it back.
One of the greatest gaming platforms.
Why not bring
it back?
Yeah. Dusty, are you in on that?
Dusty, before you were on the show, thank God it was before you were on the show, because you wouldn't have tolerated it. Dusty, before he scooted to work, back when he used to take mass transit, would be on his Switch before work, and then occasionally, when the morning meeting wrapped, he's sitting there in his chair, switching it up. Wow. That's a true story.
Wow.
That's a true story.
I'm glad I didn't know that.
What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
I was telling you.
Producers are playing the Wii during the production.
That's when he had Josh's role. Can you imagine if you walked in and Josh was on a video game?
Josh, I try to encourage Josh to get out of the stats. He's so locked in.
Exactly.
Like, Josh, take a lunch break. He's like, nah, I'm crushing these stats.
Making stats cool again.
Oh, come on, bro.
Still working on it. First things first, overtime. Today, Jordan Love helping or hurting the Packers. Statistics. are now cool. Find out in Pack Stats. And another round of video game talk. Literally, A.J. Brown talking about his role with the Eagles while playing Madden on a streaming platform. Twitch. What do you think about me calling people chat?
No, don't do that.
Chat? All right,
no,
chat. All right, chat, I won't.
You're not going to, it's going to take too long to explain this to you.
Yeah, like I'm now that we're streaming on YouTube, I'm going to call people chat. Hey, chat, thanks for watching.
Oh. Shay just laughed at you. Sometimes Shay laughs with you.
You never know.
Shay's laughing at you.
It's either one or the other. All right, chat, listen up. Chiefs are favored in Denver Sunday afternoon. Mahomes spoke today to a group of people. Had a little chat. Listen, chat.
The first goal we have that Coach Reed puts up is win the division, and we understand that it's always a challenge, and you have to go up against really good football teams that are scouting you all year long. We got to continue to get better and better, and we have a lot of division games in front of us, and so if we can go out there and handle business and do what I think we can do, we can find a way to win this division, and so everything is kind of out in front of us. We just have to go out there with the right mindset.
Okay, who is under more pressure in this game, Chiefs or the Broncos?
I think it's undeniable and obvious it's the Broncos. The Broncos, their record notwithstanding, have proven nothing. Nothing. And one could argue they're coming off their worst game of the year.
Ugly win.
And ugly win, and unlike Philly's 10-7 nationally televised win, it wasn't against a team that everybody respects. It was against the Raiders, a team that only I respect, and I was wrong. And there is also, so there's pressure on the team for that reason. There's pressure on Bo Nix because he's playing the worst. He's coming off maybe his worst game in a season full of rough games that then had great flourishes at the end. This game didn't have that. And there is massive pressure on Sean Payton, who has been begging for this matchup for 2 years. Sean Payton, who got to Denver talking, has not stopped talking, and now is a chance to prove it.
He's in first place.
Exactly. He's in first place at home off a mini bye with a chance to put a stranglehold on the division. There is massive pressure on him to deliver. This is the matchup he said. Last year, Sean Payton had the audacity, after getting curb stomped in the playoffs, to come out and say, it's a shame we got beat by 60 in the playoffs because we really thought in round 2 against the defending champs who were 15-1, we liked that matchup. And so there's huge pressure on Denver to do what you're supposed to do if you're a really good team. Win your home games against your divisional opponents. That's what good teams do.
Nick.
I like that.
I mean, that's a lot of copium. Like, what happens? It is.
Yeah, chat. I like that.
If the Chiefs lose,
they're not going to win the division.
Then there's more pressure on the Chiefs.
Why?
I hate to just make it. Have we ever seen? Mahomes has won the division every year, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. They'll probably still make the playoffs if they don't. But we've seen the Chiefs deal with everything. 4 left tackles, leading the league in drops, losing Tyreek Hill. We've seen them overcome, getting blown out in the Super Bowl, retooling off.
Going on the road in the playoffs.
Sure.
We've seen them do that.
Right. We've never seen them beat 5-5, and we've never seen them not win a division. We've never seen it before. And you would be shocked, right? If they lose this game?
Yes.
Out of a bye?
Yes, I'd be shocked.
How do you think they would feel?
I think they'd be shocked, but that's not the question. It's not who'd be more surprised. Question is who's under more pressure.
Right, but if Denver loses, they're 8-3 and they're not supposed to win. If the Chiefs gunning for this game, Coach Reed says the first goal every year is win the division, and you're saying they'd be eliminated from winning the division before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That would stagger someone. I'm not saying it'd be a knockout blow. And by the way, I don't think this will happen. I'm picking the Chiefs. I can't decide which is Denver's least impressive game. The Vegas game, the Houston game, the Giants game. There's a long list of them. So
Jets, don't forget the Jets game.
The Jets. I don't think it's going to happen. But if the Chiefs lose, it is a staggering result, maybe the most surprising to date in this NFL season. So they can't have that happen.
I'm completely in agreement with Danny. Like, to me, I mean, and I get it. The Chiefs have played in far bigger games than this, obviously. But if Denver loses, which they're expected to lose, they still would be 8-3. And even though I know some people have predicted, Super Bowl, I think most of us realize they're a young, up-and-coming team. So if they lose to the Chiefs, I don't think it's that big of a. It's like, okay, we got to grow. We're not quite where we think we are, thought we were, or where we need to be. If the Chiefs lose, like you said, the division's in major jeopardy. I actually think, and I have not this year thought they might not make the playoffs. And I still would think they would make the playoffs, but the playoffs really become kind of in question.
Well, then you got to believe in the Jags.
If they fall to 5-5, it's not like the Ravens being 4-5 or 5-5 because they're division.
Correct.
Like, I think the Chiefs would be in some jeopardy for the first time this year of actually, are they going to make the playoffs? Beyond, Nick, it telling us they're not where we thought they were. A few weeks ago, all of us were like, they're back. They're the best team in the league, certainly in the AFC. If they lose this will be their third game. I'm not even trying to get into tackle the turn tide.
Yeah,
but it would be their third loss since then. And to Jacksonville, Buffalo, we can kind of excuse. But still, now they got all their players for the most part.
Yeah.
It would be no excuse. It would just be like, are they really not as good as they've been in the past few years?
So that might all very well be true. The reason I would not be worried about the playoffs is because you're right, they don't have the divisional path like that Baltimore has. But in order for the Chiefs to miss the playoffs, essentially what that means is either the AFC North's got to get 2, which seems impossible, or Jacksonville's got to get in. And the way they're playing right now, that seems impossible. So I would not be worried.
Houston's starting to come. I mean,
but again,
obviously, I think the Chiefs are.
And so the
Chiefs would also seem to be in jeopardy of losing a few more games if they lose this game off a bye.
I agree with that, but it is what you said at the beginning is, I think, the most important point for this question. There is never, if you have an instance where, for the collection of players that matter on the Chiefs, this is somewhere from the 17th to the 30th biggest game they've played in. And for the collection of players on the Broncos, this is either the first or the second biggest game they've ever played in. There is more pressure on that group. And we are saying the Chiefs are expected to win because Vegas is, because we don't respect the Broncos as an 8-win team. Vegas does not respect the Broncos as an 8-win team. The Broncos themselves don't expect them to lose to the Chiefs in Denver. The Broncos are not like, okay, yeah, we're kind of fake. So they have, but if they lose this game, then all of a sudden, while we're talking about what's wrong with Kansas City, come Monday morning, the Broncos, after all of these miracle wins, are sitting at 3 losses, and the Chiefs, after some awful start to the season, are sitting at 4. And the Chiefs have won the one head-to-head matchup. Like, this is, to me, the Chiefs have to win this game, in my opinion, in order to win the division, but I don't think they have to win the division in order to win the AFC. The Broncos, this is a must-win game for them also to win the division. And because of what I think it will say about what we expect the matchup in Arrowhead to look like, what we expect their next matchup with Danny's Chargers to look like, and what the rest of the road looks like. So that's,
if Denver loses, we can justify it. They got a quarterback that's struggling. They're not as good as the Chiefs. If the Chiefs lose, what's the justification?
The justification.
Denver's defense is too good.
The justification
but I mean,
that Denver is actually a really good team.
Yeah.
A really good team despite their quarterback.
And the Chiefs aren't as good as we thought they were.
And that the Chiefs are not yet that, you know what? Here's new answer.
New answer.
Love
new
that.
Answer.
That's already a win for Bruno.
No, new answer. Under more pressure, Chiefs or Broncos? Under the most pressure, the brand equity of the tackle that turned the tide.
Oh, that would be out.
If they lose this game, if they lose this game, no. They would be 5-3 since then.
T3 man.
They were but it would hurt.
It would be
the tackle that turned.
It wouldn't be gone.
It'll never be gone.
Would be gone.
It's a moment in time.
It would be nice. Oh, that was cute. It was nice.
Turn the tide.
Didn't mean anything. It was actually a T3 man.
Turn our attention to Jordan Love. Didn't play great. Stats weren't great, and I know you've seen just the regular stats, but it's time to see some cool stats. It's time for packed stats. Danny, what do you have in store for us in this week's edition, chat?
Wilds. Chat, not cool. Stats, very cool.
Might be the opposite.
I only bring the coolest stats in my briefcase.
We gotta stop.
I can't. Once I get going. Jordan Love's inconsistency is hurting the Packers. We know that. But in wins and ties, his passer rating is excellent. Say what you will about passer rating. In losses, it's 78.3. You're like, okay, put that in some context. The gap between passer rating in wins and losses is the 5th most in the NFL. And look at the company he keeps. The guys that have that large of a discrepancy of like, if they play well, they win. And when they play poorly, they lose. We question all of them. Should they have been paid? Are they going to win in the playoffs? What are we going to get this week from Tua or Carson Wentz? And that is the crux of the Jordan Love issue. That if you're going to truly be a franchise guy, you have to have a higher baseline. You can't have the lows that Jordan Love has had, Brew.
You know what I've learned over these last few days, Nick? Danny is vengeful. We have been killing him for weeks about Justin Herbert. Mm-hmm. And now that he has a little bit of ammunition for J-Lo, he is just going full bore. Yesterday, it was something about Jordan Love. He went full bore, and here it is. Look, J-Lo's got to be better. There's no question about it. I don't know that I'd say weak link because it's not like they have a fantastic receiving core. It's good enough. They obviously missed Tucker Kraft. The run game hasn't been great, but he's got to be better. And he's supposed to be better. He got his money. We've all thought he could be a superstar. At least I did. And so
his money part is the most important part, oddly. Not the most important, but one of the most important in this regard. Because all of a sudden, the reporting is Matt LaFleur could be on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. And I know you love Matt LaFleur. At least I think you do.
Yeah. I like him a lot. I think you do too.
Absolutely. I think he's a good coach. But the people on the ground, the beat reporters are saying he could be on the hot seat. And one thing that is consistent is unless you are the Cleveland Browns front office and coaching staff, you cannot survive paying the wrong quarterback. Like, everybody gets fired. The Giants, Dable's gone, and is gone. They paid and that is they had paid Daniel Jones. Miami, the GM is gone, and the head coach might be. The Jets, they went all in on Rodgers, they didn't pay him a ton, whatever. Salah's gone. This one hurts my heart to say. Jacksonville's gone through a coach since they paid Trevor, and
now Shanahan survived Garoppolo, but Garoppolo did get to Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't think they said they paid the wrong guy. They got to, and in Arizona, I think Jonathan Gannon is trying to basically throw Kyler overboard to save himself. Denver paid Russ, and the Nat Hackett's out of it. So I think, and I'm not saying Jordan Love is in that category at this moment, but if Jordan Love doesn't right the ship, then all of a sudden it's like, oh man, did we pay the 18th best quarterback, franchise quarterback money? And that somebody always is held to account for that. Again, except in Cleveland.
And there's already the reporting on it, like LaFleur, but Gutekunst as well.
Yeah, they're cool.
Man, they're cool. And Brew, you're right.
Really cool.
Little vengeful.
He also doesn't believe in Jordan Love from the beginning.
I haven't believed in him for forever. They can't get it right 3 times in a row. There's nothing special about the Green Bay Packers and quarterbacks. It's complete nonsense. Second cool stat ahead of Seahawks and Rams. This one's easy to follow. The stat is 0, as in snaps while trailing since week 7. These teams, I don't know if it's the 405 window or if it's the West Coast, because there's a bunch of stats that I could, like, they're the only two teams in the NFL that now are top 5 in both offense and defense. The Seahawks and the Rams joined them this past week. So, like, there's more advanced stats that I could give you.
I like this.
But they're just bludgeoning people, start to finish. And so I don't know that they're the Super Bowl favorite, the winner of this game, but in terms of your power rankings, most impressive story of the regular season, winner of this game is the story of the year.
Hold on. I'm just going to set Brew up because I don't know
He doesn't like
if you're aware. No, Brew just has decided that the Seahawks, he doesn't believe in them.
I do believe in them. I just don't think they're the best team in the league. That's all I'm saying. I mean, they lost to San Francisco,
who has 6 wins,
and you said it was a great play by Brock Purdy.
It was. That's what I'm saying.
It was week 1
They still,
when San
but
Francisco
they didn't have
was home.
Ayuk.
No, they had your guy Purdy.
Purdy made
and they lost
heroic
to Tampa.
play. And they lost to Tampa at home. Both of those games. But those are games at home. We know their field, the configuration of the stadium, everything helps the home team.
Noise. Yeah,
it's the
true.
great 12th man, and they couldn't get it done. And here's a pack stat for you. They have played the 18th toughest schedule in the league.
Not a bad thing.
I'm just saying, 18th
is average.
Average would be 16.
No, average
It is factually below average.
Can I say
Their
something?
schedule's been below average. I think they're good. And if they beat the Rams, I'm going to raise them up a level. I'm just saying I'm not ready to say they're the best team
I'm
in the
going to
league.
make an unfair accusation here, and I'm sorry.
Wow.
I think Brew has a bias against the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, because he's not from there.
He's lived all over the country, but never mentions anything up in the Pacific Northwest. And dating back to Geno, to not believing in the Raiders, to Pete Carroll, to this Seahawks team that statistically you would like, but you're just out on this. You did
I
like
was a Russ
you did
guy.
like the big dumper.
I was a Russ guy and the big dumper.
Okay, I take it.
I like the big dumper.
Once I was workshopping it, I apologize. You do love love the Pacific North. Time for some cool stuff.
Last one. Everyone's talking about receivers in Buffalo. And yeah, they tried to trade for Jalen Waddle. But there is one thing and one thing only that is the problem with the Buffalo Bills, and that is their rush defense. They are allowing 5.5 yards, 5.47 yards per carry against. That is the 4th worst by any team through 9 games this century. Wow. So, like, we talk about, are they going to go get Brian Dable to replace Joe Brady? They are top 10 in a ton of offensive categories. What about Sean McDermott and his defense? And I know the Ed Oliver injury is a piece of it, but one defensive lineman does not make you a bottom 5.
He's no Joe Alt. I mean,
bottom 5 this century? So when I saw that they were trying to trade for Jalen Waddle, I was like, that's not your biggest issue.
But hold on. With respect, it clearly is.
This is their biggest issue.
Oh, so the people running the Bills are just idiots.
They're just wrong about this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that if you have Josh Allen at quarterback and you have a closer to 10th than first offense, then you are underachieving. And I think
some of the categories are top 5.
And I think that but not passing. They are a great running team.
I think passing they're 12th and rushing.
Yes.
I think
they're a great running team. They obviously need more pop in the receiver room. And if you are,
do you disagree that this is the biggest concern? If you're giving up 5.5 yards per carry,
that's a lot.
You just carry it twice as first down.
Good math. What I think is that if you're Buffalo, your path to the Super Bowl, and I think you would agree with this, is going to go through Josh Allen's right arm. And that becoming marginally better in run defense would not be as valuable, and it seems like the team agrees with me, as becoming a super potent quick strike offense again, which they have gone away from. Now,
their defense has hurt them in the playoffs, though.
Correct, but their adjusted kind of offensive identity certainly doesn't work with a bad defense. Of the ball control. So they need to change one or the other. But I just think that Brandon Beane himself told us that they think they didn't. They could have traded for Quinnen Williams, or maybe they wouldn't have traded within division. But they weren't going after the Quinnen Williams type. They were going after Jalen Waddle. That's
Chat, you know what struck me about this? If I was the Ravens, oh my. Ravens beat the Ravens in the playoffs?
Well, we saw what happened in the first week. Henry ran for, 190-something yards.
I think that was cool.
But their defense wasn't good at that point. Now, T7.
T7, close T7?
Ravens were routed.
Just a cool segment, dude.
Thanks, man.
That was cool.
You had a good one, too, in there.
I'm cool.
5 yards per carry. Do it twice. 2 first downs. Bring that in the briefcase next time.
Should be 1 first.
1 first down. 2 carries.
Yeah.
Fumble at the end.
A.J. Brown is on the stream chat. Check him out. See it.
All right, don't be alarmed, but this is going to take a little bit of time to set up. On Monday, A.J. Brown had 3 targets and 2 catches for 13 yards. Then yesterday, A.J. Brown went on a Twitch stream with someone by the name of Janky Rondo. And I looked it up. Janky Rondo. 73,000 subscribers on Twitch, over 200,000 on YouTube.
Oh, so he's him.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. A.J. Brown shared his feelings. Take a listen.
Let's go. Trimmer.
Where have you been?
No, just check up. You my dog. Like, I still got, you know what I'm saying? I gotta check up, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like family good, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else, no.
Man, everything gonna click, bro. Chat, look. Everything gonna click, bro. Trust me.
Show.
Whenever y'all play us, I promise you, you might get 200. And I ain't even trolling.
Hey. If you got me on fantasy, man, get rid of me.
Okay, so to summarize, A.J. Brown called it a bleep show and said if you have me on your fantasy team, you should get rid of him. Trade deadline's already passed, but he doesn't know that. Before we give our thoughts on this, Nick Sirianni just a couple hours ago was asked numerous questions about it. Here's his response.
I'm close to being done answering these questions with this. Like, he's working hard, and he is a big part of this game plan, and it'll be a big part of the game plan going forward. And he's working like crazy when he's here, and I'm excited to have him.
So, guys, this is such a crazy story because A.J. Brown can't help himself. Like, he really cannot help himself. This is the 4th time when things have been going well for the Eagles that something weird has come up midweek. And just to fully contextualize this, we go all the way back to September 28th.
Oh, we got receipts.
Oh, yeah. They beat the Bucs. They are 4-0. Bible verse season. If you're not welcome, not listen to quietly, withdraw. Don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders, and be on your way. Then, October 21st, they had just beaten the Vikings. They're 5-2. A.J. Brown had a monster game.
Yeah.
By the way. Well, using me but not using me. 2 touchdowns wasn't enough. 120 yards. Then, during the bye week, felt like he needed to talk to The Athletic. That was a great profile piece, but,
you was empathetic.
I was, but it was another storyline. And then November 4th, they're 6-2. Trade deadline time. Apparently, there was enough noise that people had to come out and say he wasn't going to be traded. He knew that this sub had an audience. Like, I don't know that he started to play Madden and was like, I'm going to make news, but he knew he wasn't playing Madden with his buddy. This guy had 200,000 subscribers. Like, he knew there was an audience for what he was saying. He can't help himself, Coach. He just can't.
I thought the most ironic part of that was the very first play the guy called was a handoff to Saquon.
Oh, and he gained 9 yards, too. Good point.
So even he was playing the same way that the Eagles play it. He can't help himself, and now the trade deadline's passed, so nothing is going to change. The only thing that's going to change is this will get louder and more confrontational should the Eagles lose games or lose multiple games. So it'll stay at this tempo as long as they're winning, and it'll get louder. And I understand where Sirianni's coming from. What other answer can he give? He's giving the same patented answer over and over again, and it's not going to change. He's working as hard as he can when he's at the building. He's an important part of the game plan. I mean, I could give that speech 1,000 times because there's nothing that he can say that's really going to make AJ change the way he feels.
So let me breathe for a second. Let me take a beat because I think what I'm about to say, DP, may shock you.
Okay.
Because I've sat up here and talked about AJ Brown being a baby, star maintenance, and all those other fun things. But when you turn on the tape, and I got a tape for you right now, this may back what A.J. Brown is talking about. You're talking about third quarter, 11:29. This is 1st and 10. If we can replay, I know we're going to run it back, man. This is Jalen Hurts simply missing A.J. Brown wide open screaming across the field. And I know he's getting pressured, but this is an easy dink and dunk situation. And this is what A.J. Brown is talking about being usage. I'm wide open. That's him wide open, DP.
Yeah, he's like, I shouldn't have 3 targets when I'm open like that.
And this is a clean pocket in relative to the NFL standards. So I'm saying to myself, is A.J. Brown crying or does he have a point? And when you turn on the film, he has a legit point. It's because Jalen Hurts doesn't trust his arm in the middle of the field, and because the offensive line has been dealing with injuries and he doesn't trust the offensive line, A.J. Brown is not getting the ball. You talk about 2 targets in that first drive, and then you talk about on the last play they go to him. This is your number 1 receiver. You're treating like a number 3 receiver. And I'm with you, Coach. At some point, it does get nauseating. At some point, it does become a distraction, especially when you're winning. But we're talking about an alpha, all-dog, number 1 wide receiver who you brought in town to be the difference maker, and you're not using him. So for me, AJ's been consistent. It's the Eagles and then Sirianni and everybody who's been inconsistent. Because either one day they're running the ball, the next day they're throwing the ball against Minnesota where they have the most production and they look like the best thing on the grass.
But he wasn't happy after that either.
But at the end of the day, he's not wrong. You got to go to your star receiver because he's not. The tape doesn't lie to you. He is open. Versus man, they can't cover him. Versus zone, he's finding the holes. He's a big body target that they need answers to. That the Eagles need answers to, or at least getting him the ball reference. So I'm frustrated because I sat here and I've been hard on A.J. Brown. I've been hard on him complaining. I've been hard on him being a me guy. When you turn on the tape, he's not being a me guy. He's a guy who's being misused and not being paid attention to. They got to start treating him like just a siren that's going off and answer the siren and let him be a factor in the offense.
Well, the trajectory is going to be the same. So they moved him in Tennessee to Philadelphia, and he'll probably spend the rest of the year in Philly, and then Philly will probably move him as well, and then he'll go to another team, and he'll probably be there for a little while, and he'll get moved from there as well. And we saw it with Stephon Diggs. We see it with a lot of great receivers. You don't get rid of a great player just for the sake of getting rid of a great player. You get rid of a great player when the relationship becomes destructive and you can't find some common ground. Bill Parcells used to tell me that there's some relationships that are like a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much water you put in it, it's always empty. And unfortunately, it kind of seems like this is the case where no matter what happens, unless he gets 10 receptions per game, every game, leads the league in receptions, and it doesn't matter whether they win or lose.
Well, Coach, we're talking about mismanagement in this week 11.
Well,
right? This is a situation where he's not wrong for the complaints he's making. And if you're Nick Sirianni and whoever on that offensive staff, you turn on the tape, you're seeing your number 1 receiver wide open, but you want to give 50-50 balls to Smitty down the field. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, we could say that it's mismanagement because he's a really talented player.
And he's open. That's why I'm saying it's mismanagement.
Well, but the quarterback has a lot of things that he has to process. And if you want to say Jalen Hurts isn't the right guy for the job, you can say that too. Maybe he's not the right guy to work with AJ, but it's who they have. They're defending Super Bowl champions. They're playing consistently good football, and they've got a chance to repeat. And the only thing that's been disruptive all season long has been him.
Isn't this a case where 2 things can be true? Meaning, A.J. Brown should be getting targeted more. He should have more production, and he has every right to be frustrated by that.
But he should be targeted because he's open, not just because he wants the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay.
That Kevin Patullo, Jalen Hurts, the offensive line, whatever the case, whatever the reasons are that he's not getting the ball more, right? Because he had that one game where he had 2 catches, but he had 7 targets, but a few of those targets were like way over his head. They weren't catchable balls. The 3rd target in the game against Green Bay, it's a Hail Mary at the end for some weird reason. That's not like a great target in the flow of the offense, right? So I think A.J. Brown's frustrations are valid. He's a top
the last target to win the game against man-to-man coverage wasn't a great target?
I think it was completely insane to run that play.
Whether you think it's insane, okay, you think it's insane. We've got a guy who's always open. He's uncoverable, but in the moment to win the game, you throw it to him, and that's a bad
All
target.
right, fair enough. Fine. It was the perfect target. It was still his third
No, but I'm
target.
just saying, we've got the greatest receiver in the history of the world running a route against man-to-man coverage. Why is that a bad target?
I think it was a fine target. You're right. I think it was crazy that they even ran the play in the first place. But point conceded. I think it's also true, though, Willie, that this isn't how you handle it. Like, they have the cleanest path to being the 1 seed in the NFC. They have wins over the Chiefs and the Bucks and the Rams and the Cowboys and the Packers. Like, they're the defending champs who are probably going to be the 1 seed again, and he's complaining.
We've seen him do it both ways. We've seen him complain, and we've seen him read a book, and we've seen him be quiet. Nothing's worked. Hurt dogs holler. He's a hurt dog right now because he's watching his team win by 10 points. You know what I'm saying?
Score only 10 points.
They'll score only 10 points. So my point is, he's saying, man, if I'm targeted and I can make an impact, well, we're not in those type situations, then why am I not being used? I'm clearly here for a reason, and you're just choosing not to use me.
But do you really think that there's a concerted effort to freeze him out of the game plan?
I think Jalen Hurts right now is struggling to process when he's being bracketed and compared to one-on-one versus and when there's zone. There's times when you see Jalen Hurts, he's too impatient in the pocket, and there's times where A.J. Brown could be as big as a billboard, and he's simply not getting the ball. So I agree with you from that aspect that Jalen Hurts needs to be better, but at some point, somebody in that organization says, hey, we're not going to anybody else but our number 1 alpha receiver because he's open and the tape is showing you time after time.
Whatever happened to keep it in-house?
Make a decision. Huh?
Whatever happened to keep it in-house?
We don't live in that world no more.
Okay.
We don't live in that world.
Have it on. Shout out to Janky Rondo for the scoop. Janky Rondo. I mean, honestly, great journalist.
It's a win for Janky.
And a good play caller.
Just got to keep going. At this point, it's real football starts.
I mean, it's looked like MVP play to me all year, to be honest.
I think about those awards. I see those people say stuff like that, and all I can think about is like, I'm just lucky to have unbelievable teammates.
Yeah, our division is wide open. I think we'll be at least in it until the end.
If we can go out there and handle business and do what I think we can do, we can find a way to win this division. And so everything is kind of out in front of us.
Time now for a little game of contenders or pretenders ahead of Week 11. Talking about who we think stands as the top contenders in the following categories. We'll begin in the AFC. Current odds to win the AFC. Chiefs, a lot of respect. 3-1, the favorites. Followed by the Colts, Bills, clumped together, virtual tie for second. Ravens, and the Patriots, who right now would be the 1 seed, at 7-1 to win the AFC. Coach, you go first here. Who's your top contender in the AFC?
Yeah, since Nick's not on the panel, I feel more comfortable doing this, but I would go with Kansas City. And the main reason is because of Patrick Mahomes and because of their ability to perform in the most crucial moments. And there was a time in New England after we'd won our first Super Bowl, and then we were 9-7. We got bumped out of the playoffs. We were in a tiebreaker, but I really felt if we had gotten in, if we'd figured out some way to get in, we would have figured out some way to win it because of Tom Brady and all that he brought to the table. And really, to me, that's exactly what Patrick is and what the Chiefs are. If they get in, they've got as good a shot as anybody, if not the best shot because of him to win it.
Willie?
I got the Pats, man. I think right now when you turn on the tape, especially against Tampa, man, this defense is tough. They're gritty. They had a lot of big stops in that game. They had the big 4th down stuff. And when you talk about what they do from a man cover standpoint, I mean, they play man just as well as anybody in the league. And when you have a young quarterback who's explosive and make all the right decisions and he's processing any stuff, we talked about how many times he's been hit. But I also think you got to credit Mike Vrabel, man. He's got this team believing they can go anywhere, step into any building, and get the job done. You need a defense come January. You need a quarterback who has the moxie. They got everything you're looking for a solid playoff team, man. I got the Pats.
All right, well, so we're going to be 3 for 3 here in terms of 3 different selections. I'll stay with the Bills. The Bills' best, I think, is still best. I don't know if they can get there consistently, and their defense does alarm me. But we're like 9 days removed from them thoroughly beating the Chiefs. And I know they lost to your pick of the Patriots, but we'll see what happens in the rematch. And it's very hard for me to pick a team as young as the Patriots.
So we just not going to talk about the Dolphins?
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That happened.
It's a tough time to make the case, Willie. It's a tough time to make it. But
I'm just saying, you point out everybody else with the worst loss they suffered all season.
No, but whose best is best, right? Like the Chiefs are 5-4. Like The Patriots so far have been the best through 10 games. It's who at the end of the day. I think they're a little too young for me to pick them in the playoffs. In one individual game, I agree with you. It's going to be hard to pick against the Chiefs, but I do think the Bills, their best is best. So I will stick with my preseason prediction for now.
See how you just glossed over that.
Yeah, the Miami game was rough. In the NFC, the Rams and Eagles and Lions, oh my, a virtual tie atop. The difference between plus 330, plus 370, basically negligible. Seahawks right behind them. They, of course, play the Rams this weekend. And then the Packers, with that defense still getting a decent amount of respect, fifth favorites in the NFC. Willie, who's your top NFC contender as it stands today?
I got those rowdy Rams, man. I think when you talk about Sean McVay and what he's been able to do with this team, he's actually added more tight ends. He's playing in 13 personnel, and they're just stressing defenses. You talk about Nakua and Adams and Kyron Williams, but it all comes down to that man right there, Matthew Stafford. He's playing at an unbelievable level. He's clean. He's efficient. And I like Stafford having fun. When he gave me the shimmy with the loose back after dominating the 49ers, I said, this guy's in the zone. So I love it, man. I like the Rams right now.
So I don't have a reason to avoid or to change from my preseason pick again, which is the Detroit Lions. I think that these teams are so bunched up atop the NFC, and Stafford and the Rams have been amazing. I can't wait to see him play the Seahawks. But I still think the Lions offense, when it's humming, is the scariest individual unit in the NFC. And their defense is so much healthier than it was last year. And they've had moments where they've been really impressive. Like, wow, what they did to Baltimore was really impressive. Like, they've had enough moments where it feels like the defense is good enough and the offense is truly elite that I will stay with my Detroit Lions.
Well, you give good teams a lot of equity.
I do. I absolutely do. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Rams and Lions have played great games when they match up against each other. That was a great playoff game, so they played each other tough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I know we talked a lot about the problems that they have with A.J. Brown, but that's really, I don't think that's enough of an issue to derail.
Champagne problem.
Yeah, to derail the season by any stretch. And I really like, again, what they did at the trade deadline. They reinforced a defense, in my mind, that was already improving. So, and that was a strength last year, and this season there were some shaky moments, but it looked like collectively they were improving. And then you go and add some quality players at the trade deadline who've already had an impact. That part alone is really positive. And Saquon has shown some. It hasn't been as consistent as we like, but he's shown some signs of life similar to what we saw last year. And until we see someone else really make a legitimate run at him, to me, they've got to be the favorite.
It hasn't been pretty. They're 13th in point differential, but just their straight-up resume is the most impressive, right? All right, let's go to the MVPs, discuss contenders here. This race also very competitive at the top. Matt Stafford, the favorite. Mahomes still clearly can win it. Love Jonathan Taylor carrying the ball for the running backs there. Of course, Drake May very close to Stafford. My preseason pick of Josh Allen rounds out the top five. This one I will abandon my preseason pick and go with Matt Stafford.
Ooh.
Matt Stafford would get my vote today. Josh Allen's great, everyone on that list. I'm kind of rooting for Jonathan Taylor for the running back component of it, but Matt Stafford is playing perfect football. It's virtually perfect. And yes, he has Sean Payton, and yes, he has great receivers, but he doesn't have the superpower of the modern NFL, which is the off-schedule play. Like, he's not mobile. It's not like we don't have to do like the total touchdown thing that we do with Jalen Hurts because he runs them in, or with Josh Allen, he runs them in. Like, Matt Stafford is just snap, scan the defense, and throw. And he is playing from the pocket about as well as you could possibly play. So for me, he is the MVP right now. Willie, what about you?
Yeah, I got Stafford too. I'm not going to lie. Everything you said is 100% correct. And I also like the fact that he got his lick back against the 49ers. I thought Mac Jones ran up on him. They got scared. Oh, Mac Jones a guy. But I think when it comes to Stafford moving forward, man, he is seeing things and processing things much like Brady-esque, right? Like, it's almost like you can't fool him in any scheme you throw at him. And considering they got the weapons, even with the injury to Devonta Adams, it's kind of a scoff because of how well he's playing. So Stafford, to me, is the MVP.
Yeah, if a running back could win it, it would be Jonathan Taylor for me all day, and I think he probably deserves it. But I'm going to go with Drake May, and to me, Drake May is last year's Jaden Daniels, who was the year before's C.J. Stroud, where everybody's in love with him, and for a lot of good reasons. He's doing a lot more with less than other quarterbacks, and what he's doing is really exciting. I think that can carry him to where he could get the edge with the voters late just because of what expectations were for New England versus what they were for the Rams.
I wouldn't completely rule out Jonathan Taylor this year. Like if the Rams don't win their division,
I think there might be a shot too.
It just a lot of things will have to fall. Rams can't win the division. Drake May falls back a little bit statistically.
Turns into a pumpkin.
If he shatters Adrian Peterson's numbers of his MVP year, breaks Saquon's numbers from last year, they get the 1 seed. There might be a perfect window. There's a path.
It'd be great. It'd be great.
There's a path for Jonathan Taylor. I wouldn't give up on it quite yet. The Giants, we got to talk. Time now for first things last. It's been a busy week for the New York Giants. The team fired Brian Daboll, lost Jackson Dart to a concussion, and announced that Jameis Winston will start instead of Russell Wilson. But the most significant news for the team was buried in the 6th paragraph of the press release on the Daboll announcement. Quote, Joe Schoen remains in his position as general manager and will lead the search for a new head coach. It was followed by a quote from team president John Mara. We feel Joe has assembled a good young nucleus of talent, and we look forward to its development. I'll get to the talent in a minute, but this is a mistake. And what's crazy is, this is now the second mistake in process for the Giants I've referenced during these monologues. This was me, back when I was young, tan, and handsome. All the way back in September, when the team inexplicably chose to start Russ over Dart. But now back to the present day. Keeping an unproven GM while firing a coach is almost always a mistake. And the Giants should know. They fired Pat Shurmur in 2019, yet kept general manager Dave Gettleman only for him to retire after 2 more losing seasons. And before that in 2015, they fired Tom Coughlin, kept general manager Jerry Reese, only to fire him less than 2 years later. As to the good young nucleus of young talent, well, that largely depends on how you feel about Dart, but it's true. Abdul Carter, Malik Neighbors, and a few others are nice pieces. But is that impressive when Joe Schoen has had 4 picks in the top 7? His win percentage as general manager is 33%, and it's a widely held belief that the selection of Dart was driven by Daboll, not Schoen. There are only 32 jobs, and this is New York City, so there will be no shortage of candidates willing to take the gig. But the problem is going to be that in order to get the top candidate on the market, you're going to have to give Joe Schoen a contract extension. Without it, no coach who has options is going to sign up for a situation where the guy who's picking the players could be fired within a year. Schoen and Daboll were hired together, so this was year 4 for both of them. Before the season, John Mara said of his coach and general manager, quote, they're going to have to get better if we're going to move on to year 5. The Giants went 2-8 to start last year, and this year, they're 2-8. I have no idea how that leads to the coach getting fired and the GM inevitably getting a contract extension. But as the saying goes, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's all I've got. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on First Things First. We'll be back tomorrow.